right, here we go, folks. Gonna head out to Phil Hardberger. Go one of my favorite trails, man. Usually I take my bike out, but definitely don't have enough time to do all that today. So today, gonna settle for just going out for a hike. I got my Camelback ready. And yeah, just gonna stop by. Gotta run a couple errands first, but I'm excited to get out there, man. My body was just feeling really tired. I kind of rotted in bed, but not in bed. I rotted on the sofa for a little bit. And it's just crazy how my body was just craving to get out here into the sun. And it's like 12:45 and it's like peak sun time. But I'm still gonna come out here and do it because, like I said, my body's like, get out there into the sun. Like, I just felt like I had to get out here. Like, my body was on autopilot and just lifted me up out of the sofa and just started pushing me towards my sock drawer so I can get some socks on and get some clothes to get ready to go hike. So we'll see how it goes. All right, just arrived here, just parked. Beautiful park, man. Here we go. It's hot, bro. Luckily I'm here in the shade, but once this walk starts, it's gonna be crazy hot, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, here's what happened. I took some days off from work, had some PTO. Normally when I take some PTO, we've got stuff to do. You know, we're going somewhere, we're going camping somewhere. But this time around, I was just off. And it was great. You know, I got to catch up on a lot of random things. You know, I put in a water softener that had broken a long time ago. I went and bought a new one and replaced it, and it went somewhat smooth. So that was really cool. I was really proud of myself. But, you know, there was just I had time on my hands, and I knew I needed to get out and do something. I wanted to go walk around, do something. Part of me wanted to go to Enchanted Rock. But you know, it's about 2 hours away from where I live, and I don't know, I just didn't want to have to drive out there by myself and then come back and pick up the kids and all that stuff. But anyway, so here we are. So I'm walking the trail. This is on my way up to the land bridge, which, you know, the land bridge is great, man. So the land bridge, the Robert L.B. Tobin land bridge, it was opened in 2020. It's the first, or one of the first, mixed-use wildlife and pedestrian bridges in the U.S., which is built for animals and people, or people that think they're animals, like myself. Just kidding. So, you know, it's cool. I will say I don't think I've ever seen any animals crossing that bridge, but, you know, maybe while, you know, the hours in which I'm going, maybe the animals are kind of like, this is human traffic time, you know, maybe at night it gets a little busy, who knows. I wonder if they have any cameras, you know, like with night vision in that area, and they can see like the animals crossing through. The only animals I've ever really seen at this park are deer anyway. And, you know, not in this video, but I did encounter a few deer during this walk/hike, and my camera just didn't record. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but there was, you know, a group of deer, maybe like 4 of them, and they all kind of paused and then were staring at me. It was kind of weird and slightly creepy. Man, it is hot out here. Thank God for some of this shade, bro. I don't know what the temperature is, but I imagine it's like 85. That's what I'm gonna go with. You know, when I checked the weather, and I think it was about 80, so that was a good guess on my part. But, you know, one cool thing about this park is it's shaded pretty well for the most part. So even though, you know, the sun might be blaring, you know, for the most part, you feel pretty good regardless of the time, right? So, I think that's what appeals to me the most, you know. So like I mentioned in the intro of this video, I like to ride my bike on these trails, and it's pretty fun. And it's not a mountain bike that I ride, but it's fun because it kind of gives you like a very mild mountain bike type of feel, you know, just riding through these kind of slightly rugged trails that you can walk through. Now these trails here don't necessarily look too bad, but there's some trails with a lot of bumps and stuff, and it gets pretty fun, you know. Yeah, I don't think I'd come out here at night without a light. I'd be kind of creeped out, especially in this area with the way these trees look. Seems kind of creepy. But if it was nighttime and there was no light, I wouldn't even notice. So it's all good, maybe. And who knows, maybe there is light. Doubt it though. So this park is 330 acres. It opened in 2010. It was once a working dairy farm. I guess the Max Volker and Minnie Volker Dairy. There is a stone farmhouse, I guess, from the 1800s that apparently is still there. I don't know if I've ever seen it. There's 7.5 miles of trails in this park. It is bisected by the 6-lane Wurzbach Parkway highway. There's 2 sides of the park, the east and the west side. There's a Blanco entrance. And then it does have kind of like this urban center. You know, it has like classrooms, restrooms, a meeting space. So it's pretty cool. There's 2 large dog parks in the park, one on each side of the east and the west side. There's a huge play area there, and it's in this area right here. This is kind of like the bathrooms and such, but there is a big play area somewhat close to this where I'm at this point. My kids really like going and playing there, and there's like a bunch of stations where they can play at. There's a ton of picnic tables. It's really cool, you know. It's a good place for like a Saturday morning or Sunday morning kind of thing. You just take the kids out, go for a little hike, let them play, you know, take the football out there, throw the football around, that kind of thing. So it's pretty cool. There are barbecue pits there. You can't take your own from what I saw, but there are some barbecue pits there, so you know you can kind of cook up some grub if you want and just kind of hang out, like I said, for the morning. Overall, this park was well needed. You know, this hike was well needed by me on this particular day. Like I said, I was rotten in bed and I needed to get up and do a little something. So let's look at the stats. 3.11 miles. Took me about an hour. Maybe, you know, I guess I wasn't walking very briskly, you could say. But there's my path. You know, I pretty much went from one side of the park to the other. You can see me crossing the land bridge right there. So that was pretty cool. You know, the park is just, before you know it, you've walked all these miles, you know. All right, leaving the park, man. I love this place, and hopefully I can come back this week with my bike. It's just such a nice park. That land bridge is what really makes it too. Like, that's kind of the highlight of it. But it's just a beautiful park. People here are usually pretty cool. There's nothing weird going on here that I've ever seen. But yeah, that's it, baby. What a good time it was. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, baby.